Catus Maximus here. This is another super short documented video. This is about Wilmar 7. Actually, I think these are 6-inch slip joint pliers. And just like the Majestics, this is just to kind of document. I've just been finding all these different brands that are like halfway decent. These aren't the best. Once again, they're not diamonds, but they're not the worst either. Although I can say that, you know, you can see that the grinding on the jaws isn't as even as like those Majestics I just reviewed. Prevailing torque nut, although the prevailing torque portion of it, as we can see by me turning my hand, turning the nut by hand, isn't working super great. And how these work is the fact that they take the nut and they actually stamp this so it upsets the threads, so it works kind of like a jam nut. Unfortunately, once again, this one is not stood up to the test of time, even though these pliers really aren't that used at all, or at least that beat up. At least they did do a good job grinding. Nice textured handles, and this texturing this is a two-step process for that texturing. Anyway, slip joint pliers are actually all left-hand or right-hand jaws. They don't actually have forgings for two different jaws. What they do is they just stamp out a bunch of left-hand jaws, and then one of the jaws they put a hole in another jaw. They put in this broach for the slip joint, and then they get this texturing. That's the second process where they have to put it in this way and then forge it. And because when you're forging, you get a bunch of flashing where the metal squishes out. So they have to forge these, grind the flashing. You can see just a little bit of evidence of the flashing there. And then they then they do this, where they stamp the texturing on the handle. And these, surprisingly enough, are also Korean, just like those Majestics that I just reviewed earlier. And the chrome plating is actually held up pretty well. Overall, not a bad set of tools. It seems like at least through the 70s or 80s, maybe even in the 90s, Korea was trying to be kind of like, what I think was happening is they were seeing how well successful Taiwan was at becoming a major tool supplier of the world, quite frankly. And I think Korea was trying, a lot of Koreans are trying to get into that market too, but Taiwan just ended up being super dominant. Anyway, I really appreciate everybody who's been watching and subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Till next time, Catus Maximus out.